Welcome to the Body Nerd Show, empowering you with the super uncomplicated things you need to know about self-care and movement so that you too can wake up every day pain-free. I'm your host, Alexandra Ellis, and I'm a coach, writer, former yogi, kettlebell devotee, and 100% body nerd. So, are you ready? Let's get nerdy! Welcome back. You're listening to episode 24 of the Body Nerd Show. On today's episode, I'm sharing all about why I intentionally got wrapped up like a burrito and sweat for 55 minutes. I'll be sharing the benefits of sweating and how it works, if you can actually sweat out toxins, aka that elusive detox, and if you're even really toxic to begin with. Remember that show notes, fun links, free downloads, the Body Nerds Facebook group, and all things live over at aewellness.com/podcast. There's links to come find me on Instagram. I'm at Halafamala. There's also information about my upcoming live virtual event on August 17th called Soar No More. So I'll be sharing more at the end of the show about this awesome event that is going to teach you exactly what you need to do on a daily basis so that you can feel amazing and get rid of soreness, tension, and pain. So all of that lives over at aewellness.com/podcast. Now, on to today's episode. Why am I talking about sweat? Now, I had this topic idea about toxicity and if you actually are toxic and if detox is a thing before I decided to go to a place here in LA called Shape House. And Shape House says that they are a modern sweat house, and that's basically what you do. You lay in a bed and they use far infrared technology to heat you up as hot as possible, and you literally just lay there for 55 minutes. They have been featured on episodes of The Kardashians, The Doctors. I saw a clip of a guest on Ellen talking about it. So the celebrities love it. And you know, in LA, if celebrities love something, then we are all over it. And I've tried Shape House before, but I wanted to experience it again. And also, I will add that it's a great way to catch up on TV. Yeah, so not only are you laying there in a bed, but the room is pretty dark, so it's not like you could read a book, and really they want you to keep your arms inside this burrito heating sleeping bag they wrap you in. So there's television there. So for 55 minutes, I watched The Handmaid's Tale, which is really kind of a weird contrast because I was supposed to be relaxing, and if you watch that show, it is not relaxing at all. Now, Shape House says that it's about as much effort on your body as a workout, but the upside is that you get to be relaxed the entire time. And that was really why I went, because I needed some forced relaxation. I don't know about you, but around the house, I can say, oh, I'm going to read for, some time here. And then I pick up my phone to look up something. And before I know it, I have fallen into a deep, dark Instagram hole for like an hour. So the, upside of Shape House for me personally was that I was literally wrapped up like a burrito. I didn't have my phone. I had no choice but to relax. But as I was laying there and sweating my buns off, I was wondering, does this actually work? And so I got to work and did some research. So here's the thing. Yes, you will sweat a ton while you are there. And just like they told me, the first 20 minutes were pretty easy. You feel like, this is nice, it's warm. The next 20 minutes are really hot. And the last 15 minutes are tough. And they come and check on you every 20 minutes. So you also have an idea of how much longer you have. And I will say that watching TV made that time go faster. Now, you also could listen to a podcast if you wanted, but I don't watch TV a lot at home and I listen to a ton of podcasts. So like I said, forced relaxation. Now, I also had my Fitbit on the entire time, and I had it set to a workout. So I'd have that little snippet of time, and it gives you a little bit more in-depth information about what happened. And the interesting thing was that my heart rate was at about 100 BPM the entire time I was laying there. And my resting heart rate is about 61 or 62. So 100 is pretty elevated. That's similar to a somewhat intense walk, if you're walking pretty fast. So the thing is, my cardiovascular system was working, but it's not the same as sweating while working out or even walking outside because, again, you're laying down. So it's this interesting, mixture of your body, specifically your heart and your, cardiovascular system are working fairly difficult, but the rest of you is totally, totally relaxed. So what actually is sweating? Because you know me, I wonder about all elements. So daily, you sweat, and a lot of times you're not even aware of it happening, and everybody sweats about 500 milliliters a day. And this comes from your breath, it comes from your skin, it comes from a bunch of other stuff. So it's not necessarily going to be droplets all over you, but sweating is happening every day. And it is mostly water. Now, when you are really sweating, let's say you are outside on a summer day, your heart rate and cardiac output are increased. And at that time, you can lose anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 liters of body water in an hour. So a lot of sweat can happen, and that's one of the cool things about the human body is that it's able to modulate its output depending on needs. Now, here's a fun fact about sweating is it's not the sweating that cools you off. It's the sweat and that liquid evaporating that cools you off, which is also why when it is super humid outside, it feels so much hotter because your sweat can't evaporate. And then you just get to sit there in your sweat. So what about heat? Because heat is also used as a modality in a number of different ways, whether it's moist heat packs at the physical therapist or a hot shower, sauna, whatever. Heat increases circulation and also increases cellular metabolism. And when it's applied locally, so like in one area, it brings oxygen and nutrients into areas that might otherwise not have as much blood flow. So this is going to help get any garbage, so to speak, like cellular debris. So not necessarily toxins, but it's just going to help fluid flow in and out of an area. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Increased blood flow feels pretty good. So here's where things got super, super interesting for me in the research I did for this episode. To be honest, I fully expected this to be pseudoscience and zero research, and I wasn't going to find anything about sweat and toxins, and it's all a big fat lie. Now, sauna and heat therapy, they're not new. Indigenous people in North America have been doing sweats and sweat lodges and something like that for almost 40,000 years. So the technology, so to speak, isn't new, but our desire to understand the specificity of what is going on and if it's actually efficient, now that is new. So are you actually toxic? This is like the $1 million question, right? This is what green juices and cleanses and this and that. Everybody, it's detox. As a side note, I will say my favorite is the Detox Retox, which is a yoga class at a brewery. So you do yoga and then you get beer. That is something I can get behind. But let's differentiate between pollutants and metabolic waste. So that's what I tend to call cellular debris. So metabolic waste is like cell poop. Sorry for the gross imagery, but all of your cells have byproducts from doing their normal processes. And technically, these could be considered toxins because they are biologically produced, and if you had them in abnormally high concentrations, they would be harmful. But they are normal products of your biology and my biology, and most of them are safely excreted, some are reused, and oftentimes recycled. And your body is fully equipped to deal with these types of chemicals in your body on a daily basis. Your liver, your kidneys, immune system, they know what to do. They take care of it. It's no problem. So as far as metabolic wastes go, you're not toxic on the inside from cellular debris. Your body already knows how to handle it. When it comes to pollutants, this is where it really gets interesting. So pollutants are stuff in your environment that you're exposed to. So this could be mercury, lead in paint. I know they've pulled a lot of these chemicals from different substances, but they're still around us and in the environment. Arsenic, and then everybody's most interesting favorite, but maybe not your favorite, but organic chlorinated pesticides, or OCPs from here on out, because there are far too many letters in that word. So OCPs in particular are typically absorbed into your fat. And once they're in your fat layers, they're not efficiently eliminated. And before you get all crazy and like, Alex, why are you calling me fat? Everybody has fat. It's super healthy. If you don't have fat, you actually are very ill and your life is in danger. So fat is good. Let's celebrate it. Yay, fat. So OCPs are fat soluble. They stay there, and that's why they're so difficult to kind of get out of your system. And so one of the studies I found looked at how efficient induced sweating was in eliminating OCPs specifically. And if you're like, but Alex, I only eat organic and I'm never exposed to any of this stuff. It's in the air. It's in everything. It's all over. And if these chemicals, which they are in our environment, chances are they are also in our bodies. And because it is stored in your fat, this is where your kidneys and your liver may have a more difficult time processing them, because also they are chemicals that are novel and new, right? 40,000 years ago, when indigenous peoples were in sweat lodges, they weren't dealing with OCPs, right? So their body was just doing whatever it needed to do and it was fine. So there's almost like an added layer of complexity that we layer upon our body just through chemicals that are in our environment. And chemicals also, I'll say chemicals aren't bad, right? Vinegar is a chemical. It's not bad. It's great. Tastes really good. Not drinking straight before you think I'm a total weirdo. Okay, so back to the elimination of OCPs and how it works. So they measured the output of OCPs in the blood, urine, and sweat of 20 individuals. And the very interesting thing is that generally sweat samples showed more frequent OCP detection than blood, serum, or urine analysis. And many OCPs were not readily detected in the blood testing, even while they were still being excreted and identified in sweat. So this leads us to believe that sweating is a better way to clear the body of some OCPs than blood or urine. So perhaps there is some research, and I'll also say this is one study with 20 individuals. If we had 100,000 studies and 1 million individuals, the research would be far more convincing that it is valid. That's the other thing about research. One study does not make it fact. True research should be replicable again and again and again, and you should be able to get the same results every single time. So let's take this with a grain of salt or a grain of sweat, I guess. But just know, here's a group of people who did actually find that your body is able to excrete some types of chemicals through your fat in a way that it's not able to do the same thing through your blood or through your urine. I'll link to this research study in the show notes, and it was in the Biomed Research International Journal, volume 2016, if you want to just go on Google Scholar and look it up for yourself. So that's fascinating. And to be honest, I was completely surprised that your body and sweat are a good thing. So is this for everyone? And the answer is obviously no. If you are sensitive to heat, if you have chronic conditions, if you have a recent injury or just had surgery, you definitely do not want to do heat therapy or any type of, heat induction for sweating. If there are certain medications you're taking, pregnancy is also another contraindication. As always, have a conversation with your doctor before trying if you have any questions of if this is or is not right for you. Now, would I do it again? Heck yes, absolutely. It's not a replacement at all for movement. Obviously, it's not the same as going outside and chopping wood and getting hot and sweaty. And one article I read did suggest that this process of elimination through sweat was better when you were relaxed because your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, is the dominant, nervous system you're in, instead of sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, which when you're exercising, there's an increase in that sympathetic response. It just happens. So obviously keep moving, but maybe consider including sweating or some type of sweating in regular rotation. So I honestly don't see myself doing this more than probably once a month. It's Los Angeles. It's cost prohibitive, but it is really super fun, especially as a part of my mission to take excellent care of myself. This will be in rotation for sure. So maybe for you, if you've always said heck no to hot yoga, maybe it's something to consider. The benefit of this type of heat that we experienced was that you were wrapped up like a burrito, so you weren't breathing the hot air, just your body was hot. And then again, television. Could watch all the Hulu and Netflix that you wanted. But speaking of taking excellent care of yourself, sweating can be just one part of an entire system that I use to keep soreness, tension, and pain at bay. And I teach my clients to do the same. So at the top of today's episode, I mentioned my upcoming live virtual event, Sore No More. It's going to be an awesome workshop where you'll learn my system for getting stronger, building flexibility, and feeling amazing in less than 15 minutes a day. Honestly, just think, what other things do you spend 15 minutes a day doing? And if you are currently experiencing a lot of soreness, tension, and pain, I bet a big chunk of your time is spent either traveling to or in an office of a care provider. Whether it's an acupuncturist, massage therapist, physical therapist, chiropractor, your time is precious. And so what I am sharing is how you can take just 15 minutes of your day and get faster results and get even faster to feeling amazing without soreness, tension, and pain from home by yourself. Well, not by yourself, because I'll be there. So Sore No More is 100% virtual, which means there will also be a recording, but you definitely want to show up live and get coaching from me. And so really my whole goal is to teach you how to help yourself so that you don't have the 5 days of downtime in between your next physical therapist appointment, so that you don't have to continually put money towards co-pays and this and that, so that you can know how to take excellent care of yourself and only utilize your care professionals when you really need them. So it's a very different experience going to a physical therapist and having a conversation about what's going on versus showing up and saying, fix me. At Sore No More, we're going to cover how to get to the root of what's actually going on, how to craft your own personalized plan, and workshop exactly what's going on for you right now. And you will leave with a plan for the next 90 days for exactly what to do and why you're doing it so that you too can get rid of soreness, tension, and pain for good. So just think about it. If you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have pain and you had a plan and knew exactly what to do to get stronger and more flexible on a daily basis, and it didn't take you more than 15 minutes a day, what else would you be doing? Like the whole world would open up with possibilities of other things you could be doing other than thinking about your body, of moving extra careful to not hurt yourself. Like you deserve to just get back to you without pain. And it's completely possible no matter how long this has been going on. So head on over to aewellness.com/SORE, aewellness.com/SOAR to learn more about the event, to book your spot. It is going to be super, super awesome. And I'm really excited to share exactly what I've been doing and what my clients have been doing. And my clients have been getting amazing, amazing results in like a week's time. Like honestly, one of my clients, Michelle, went from not running, having to give up running because she was in so much pain, even though she was still going to physical therapy and working with people. After following her personal Amplify You plan, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks into it where she was back to running. Like back to running and feeling confident in her body. So just imagine what would be different if you felt super confident in your body right now. It's completely possible. And you don't have to become a fitness pro. You just have to join us at Soar No More. So again, that's aewellness.com/soar, SORE. So here's to asking better questions, moving more, getting nerdy, and sweating for fun. Seems weird, but we can do it. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. I definitely plan on doing more episodes on different fitness trends, quote unquote. So float therapy and cryotherapy and all of those things. Now I'm addicted. I want to go try them all and then look into the science of what the heck is actually going on. So head on over to Apple Podcasts. Make sure you hit that subscribe. And also while you're there, leave a review. It helps other body nerds find the show and really helps me to tailor my episodes so that I know that I'm giving you what you want to hear. I also want to hear your body nerd hacks. So leave a quick message on the Body Nerd hotline. That number is 818-396-6501. And tell me what you do on the daily to feel amazing. Or you can tag me on Instagram or in IG stories. I'm at Hala Famala. I love seeing body nerds being nerdy out there in the world. So help me spread the word that your body is super cool. Or sometimes kind of sweaty, but it's still cool. And you can absolutely change the unchangeable. I'll talk to you next week. Listen, friend, we both know that you are not you when you're in pain. But the good news is you can change the unchangeable. Even if it seems like it's been forever, life without pain is 100% possible. And I can help you get there faster. Head on over to bodynerdshow.com and download the Body Freedom Assessment. You'll answer a few questions, and then you'll know exactly what your next steps towards more days of awesome should be. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it won't even take you more than 15 minutes a day.